The New York Knicks have just made a shocking move in a personnel decision with a fan favorite player, and we have to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Knicks Basketball 365. If you're a New York Knicks fan, please hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news for today, coming from CBS Sports, the New York Knicks assigned Tyler Kolek to the G League's Westchester Knicks on Wednesday. Kolek has been a fringe rotation player for New York early on, so this move is an effort to keep him sharp with some extra reps. So, Tyler Kolek, the second year now, guard out of Marquette, a little bit undersized, but he's now on his way to the Westchester Knicks to get more reps because Mike Brown decided he wasn't going to be getting enough reps to develop with the New York Knicks in the real game. So we'll send him down to Westchester, let him run up some experience. Now, so far on the season, Tyler Kolek has been averaging 3 points per game, 0.6 rebounds per game, 1.1 assists per game. Numbers are pretty low because his minutes have been pretty low, but shooting 42.9% from the field. Pretty respectable field goal made percentage for Tyler Kolek, which is great to see because he struggled greatly shooting the basketball in Summer League and then the preseason as well. Tyler Kolek came into this season with very low expectations from a lot of people that know a whole lot about the New York Knicks, but from what we saw from him the start of the year in the very the very limited minutes that we watched Tyler Kolek play, he's looked pretty solid. I mean, you got to give him some credit. That bruise looks like it hurts a ton. Every time he checks in, I cringe because I hate looking at it. But Tyler Kolek has been playing better than a whole lot of people were expecting. And we really need Kolek to develop because he's a fantastic fit for what Mike Brown's new offensive system is for the New York Knicks. He wants to, shoot a ton of threes. Tyler Kolek, he's in theory, a three-point shooter. His career-wise, his three-point shooting has not been good enough. And for a shorter player, you have to make sure that you are able to shoot the three ball effectively. But Tyler Kolek is also developing into a better passer, which is also very important because the second most important thing with Mike Brown's scheme is make sure you are passing the ball quickly. He wants the basketball to move very quickly in and out of the paint. His plan is to attack the paint to open up three-point shots for the New York Knicks. Also, he likes setting all different types of screens to make sure it all comes out to three-pointers. There's a reason why it's the thing that everyone's talking about now when it comes to Mike Brown. This team is built around three-point shooting. After the acquisition of Karl-Anthony Towns, it was obvious that Tom Thibodeau was not going to be the New York Knicks head coach for a while, and that this team is now based on shooting threes. We have OG Anunoby, one of the NBA's best corner three shooters, and we are picking up Karl-Anthony Towns, the best three-point shooter in the history of big men in the NBA. Jalen Brunson, of course, a great shooter. Mikal Bridges depends on the night, but Tyler Kolek is a guy who can fill this role of the backup point guard if he is able to successfully continue his development on the Westchester Knicks. I am very encouraged by what I've seen so far this season after his rookie year really did not look good. Just far too many turnovers for Tyler Kolek, which absolutely cannot be a part of your game. You have to make sure you're taking care of the basketball. We do not want to give our opponents opportunities to run in transition, to score in transition, because that's just, it's just too easy. It's too easy to score like that. And in a league that is centered around scoring and on a New York Knicks team that's going to be running up the pace, we're going to be giving our opponents plenty of opportunities to score. And if we're going to give them more opportunities in transition on top of that, we are just not going to be able to play enough defense. They're going to be, our opponents, that is, are going to be able to run up scores against us. So turnovers absolutely cannot happen. But Tyler Kolek, so far this season, seems like he's cleaning up those turnovers, playing better basketball, and it's something that you really love to see. But speaking of better basketball, the New York Knicks this season have not been playing better basketball than they were last season as they are adapting to Mike Brown's new offense. The Cleveland Cavaliers, despite a Game 1 defeat at Madison Square Garden, they have opened up a bigger lead in the Eastern Conference winner betting odds versus the New York Knicks. The Knicks have dropped down to plus 390. The Cavaliers opening almost a plus 200-point gap in betting odds. They are becoming a bigger favorite, which is not what we want to see. We want our Knicks running up. We want to see the Knicks get love from Vegas because Vegas knows what's going to happen in the future in these sports games more than anyone watching this video does, and certainly more than I do. But it does seem like Vegas believes that the Eastern Conference is a two-team conference. The Orlando Magic bringing up the rear. I mean, can I bring up the rear, really, with the third best odds? But they are just so far away from the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are expected to be battling it out all season to win the what seems to be a weaker Eastern Conference, with the injuries to Tyrese Halliburton, the injury to Jason Tatum, the whatever the Bucks are, they're the Milwaukee Giannis's. Outside of that, they got Miles Turner. They really don't have enough. And in this new era of NBA basketball, it's about teams, and benches matter so much more than they have in the past. So Giannis is not going to be able to do it himself. I know he pretty much beat the Knicks all by himself, but he is not going to be able to win series and win the conference by himself. He's going to need help from his bench. We are really yet to see if the Milwaukee bench is going to be up to that challenge, but we're still very, very early in the basketball season. But we do know that the New York Knicks spent a ton of assets in free agency to go out and increase their bench. The bench looking a whole lot deeper this season with additions like, I guess he's not an addition, but Landry Shamet's back. Additions of Gershon Yabusele, with the addition of Jordan Clarkson. We are expecting significantly more scoring off the bench, not only because the players are better, but because under Mike Brown, we're going to be running our starters less minutes. The expectation is we're not going to be able to rest on offense anymore. Under Tom Thibodeau, there was a lot of Jalen Brunson dribbling where he would bring the basketball up and just dribble at the top of the key just to slow the game down. Thibodeau was all about controlling the pace of the game, which is why the New York Knicks were bottom of the league in pace every single year under Tom Thibodeau. And it allowed the stars for the New York Knicks to play a ton of minutes because on offense, they knew every time Brunson brought the ball up, they would have, 8 to 10 seconds to kind of just sit there in the corner, just catch their breath, do whatever they had to do, maybe even tie your shoe. But this year, it's different. This year, guys have to be running around. After the Milwaukee Buck game, head coach Mike Brown came out and called out the New York Knicks for just standing around, is the words he used. So that's not going to fly under the new head coach. If you are just standing around, he's going to call you out and make sure that you are running around, setting a pick for somebody, just finding a way to get an open three. Just if you like three-point shooting, you will love this New York Knicks team, but got to play a little bit better. So far, we haven't looked amazing coming out of the gates, but it's still very, very early. This team is learning how to play under Mike Brown, and we are hopefully going to be able to figure this thing out soon and turn up into a team that is a force to be reckoned with in the Eastern Conference. A lot of it comes down to injuries. Mitchell Robinson playing some games, but still dealing with that ankle injury. Josh Hart, he's got to get that surgery. His finger has some nerve damage. He needs that surgery. He says he's not going to get the surgery. The New York Knicks, it's not about winning games today. It's about winning games at the end of the season in the playoffs. Josh Hart needs to get that surgery. Hopefully, he is properly advised by New York Knicks team doctors and coaches and his friends and teammates to go get that surgery, because that's what's best for the New York Knicks, even if he may not believe it's the best thing for himself. So we have all those injuries to deal with. And when Mike Brown is dealing with all those injuries, it makes it harder to figure out who he even wants to play in a rotation, but I'm sure he's going to figure it out soon. Mike Brown, got to remember, he was a NBA Coach of the Year, even though I'm starting to think that award might be a bad thing because everyone who wins it gets fired just a couple years later. Or if you're the Pistons head coach, Dwayne Casey, maybe you get fired that year anyway. But that's what I got for this video. Stuck around this long. Appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Knicks.